You're listening to the PRO Media Network, the next level in entertainment.
Get ready. It's time for the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Telling you everything you need to know about the Saints, Pelicans, and a whole lot more.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. Once again, I'm Big Q. I'd like to welcome all y'all to the Sports Coma episode 347. This is a podcast strictly dedicated to the Black and Gold Nation, the Who Dat Nation, and every member of the Saints family, man, that's looking for real Saints talk. Not all that jibber jabber, not all that pre-scripted teleprompter nonsense. We here. Welcome aboard, man. And we're going to bring in Suede, Blaxuede, another member of the family. Of course, a lot of people remember Suede from the earlier seasons as Sports Coma's going into our fifth season. That's right. 4 seasons right now currently. 5th season starting in middle of June. On the Sports Coma, 5 years it's going to be a Sports Coma, man. And I like to thank all y'all terrific people for making it. The number one independent Saints podcast in the land. That's right. We are the Sports Coma. And in episode 349, we got Blaxuede chiming in. What's happening, Suede? What's going on, man?
Well, what's going on, Q, baby? It's been a minute, you know what I'm saying? But it's your boy Suede. Been here today. Uno. Let's talk some Saints, baby.
That's right. Suede, man, is in the building on tonight's show, and I'm glad that I have Suede back. Suede was in the first couple of seasons of the Sports Coma, like I said, going into our 5th season. And it's podcast number 347, family. Welcome aboard. New and established listeners of the show as we continue to grow moving forward. We're going to talk about some Saints news and items up to date. Of course, a couple of news items we're going to talk about of the fact that the Saints did bring back P.J. Williams for a 1-year deal. They brought back P.J. Williams for a 1-year deal. We'll talk about that.
Oh, man, for what?
Also, Tyler Davison. News on Tyler Davison involving the Atlanta Falcons, man. Can you believe it? We're going to talk about that as well. We're going to break down our opinions of what we think is the biggest needs remaining for the Saints. Wade going to give you his. I'm going to give you mine. And, of course, we're going to talk about other news, draft news, dealing with the Saints as well. So, without further ado, let's get into podcast 347. We're going to start with, of course, the Tyler Davison news. That's the more current news of the day, Suede. It's Tyler Davison. Tyler Davison is visiting with the Atlanta Falcons. And, of course, I don't think Tyler Davison was going to come back. I don't think he's going to command a lot of money. But the market's just not there for him right now. And, of course, the Falcons do have a need in the interior line. I wouldn't mind having Tyler Davison back. I just don't think the Saints going to do it. But the Atlanta Falcons are bringing him or hosting him. It did host Tyler Davison. And that's, I don't know. He's a 26-year-old guy. He started 12 games for the Saints in 2018, had 23 tackles, 2 sacks. 1 pass defense, 1 forced fumble. And technically, he was a starter. He played the 3rd most snaps among the team at the defensive tackle position. 41% ranked behind Sheldon Rankins and David Onyemata, as Onyemata really kind of ran past Sheldon Rankins and his team seen more of upside with him. He has a lot of experience. He's still very young. And, of course, the Saints did decide to move on from Tyler Davison, bringing in big, massive defensive tackle from the New England Patriots, Malcolm Brown, to fill his slot next to Sheldon Rankins. So, Suede, what do you think about the move to Tyler Davison going visiting with the Atlanta Falcons? That seemed like a sucker move to me, man. I don't like it.
It's a big sucker move. move, man. You know, Atlanta take anybody that the Saints have. I mean, we had a ball boy, you know what I'm saying, up for grabs. They would have took him anything to get some inside information on what you're doing. But to go to the Falcons, you could have played for ISIS. You know, you could have played for anybody, though. But to the Falcons, that's a pretty, like a slap in the face. I think he feels kind of bitter towards the Saints. That's the only reason, you know what I'm saying, he would go to the Falcons, to our rivals.
Yeah, that's well, we'll see, man, and definitely they'll try to see what they can get out of it. It won't work anyway.
I just felt this place since Bobby Abel went there, and definitely when Morton Anderson went there.
Yeah, we had quite a few. We had quite a few guys that end up trying to bust that move. Also, on the Saints tip, PJ Williams. Of course, that was a few days back. The Saints decided to bring PJ Williams back. He didn't have much of a market at all. He started the offseason wrong with the with the driving under the influence and all that kind of stuff. And of course, PJ Williams. The Saints decided, hey, we're gonna bring back PJ Williams for one more year. They did tender early in the offseason Ken Crawley, who hasn't signed his tender yet, and I'm pretty sure he's going to sign it because nobody's going to sign Ken Crawley to no tender, man. You can forget about that. But both those guys are going to return to the.
A wise man named David Ruffin once said, "Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis."
They coming to see me.
Man, I mean, P.J. Williams, you know, he made a couple of plays, but I mean, nobody's looking for P.J. Williams to, you know, compliment their team, man. And I guess, you know, they need some janitor work. So, hey, you know, let's have P.J. Williams back.
Yes, it's a curious move by that, but of course the Saints didn't see anything out in the free agency market that they wanted to deal with, so I guess they found P.J. Williams.
Somebody that's familiar with it.
Pretty much. So they brought PJ back. But that's some of the news items on the day. Let's get into some of the news dealing with the Saints in terms of the biggest remaining needs of the team. Of course, the Saints did some fantastic moves in the free agency. We covered that in the previous show. They did sign Jared Cook, the tight end from the Raiders, the best tight end in the free agent markets to fill in. That was a real excellent move to fill in a big spot. They brought in Malcolm Brown, as we just mentioned, to fill in what Tyler Davidson was to upgrade the interior line. Also, Mario Edwards Jr. was a guy they brought in that can help out in defensive tackle or defensive end position. And, you know, they made a few other moves. They brought in Marcus Shrells to help out at the kick return, punt return game. He's also a defensive back that'll provide some depth if needed. So the Saints did.
Anybody successful has never been named PJ, dude. And only successful PJ was PJ Brown. That was it with honors. And after anybody named PJ sucked.
But the Saints also addressed the center. Of course, Max Unger retired. They picked up Nick Easton from the Minnesota Vikings, plugged him in as well. So the Saints fulfilled a lot of the moves of the team moving ahead. Now, what are the remaining moves? What are the needs that's left for the team? Well, I had a lot of people out there said AQ is wide receiver, AQ is cornerback, AQ is safety. Sway, quickly, what in your idea? Give me three of your. In your opinion, the three biggest needs left for the team to fill?
I definitely number one would be a cornerback with me. You know, I don't believe in Eli apple pie. Game is sweet. I think they can go definitely for another corner, man. Number two, it's hard because I think I told you before, I think the Saints really have it together, but other than that, I have to go safety. Maybe another tight end, a second tight end. I think they're really good on the line. I think they're really good at linebacker, quarterback, of course. The two running backs. Murray has to show me what he can do. Receivers, pretty good. Offensive line, great. So yeah, it'll have to be that. It'll have to be the second tight end, safety, and cornerback.
Okay, that's excellent. My call is I think the Saints definitely need another edge rusher. You know, they need another edge rusher. I do like Mario Edwards Jr. I just don't think that he would provide that edge rushing pressure that you're looking for. I don't think he's better than Alex Okafor in that capacity. So I still have edge rusher on my list, followed by safety. I think the Saints definitely need a safety behind Von Bell and Marcus Williams when they usually like to run those 3 safety sets. I like Chris Banjo, but I think he's more a special teams man than he is a third safety that can come in and play for you in terms of that safety, that third safety. Right. So I think safety is up there as well. And, of course, I still say reserve offensive lineman. I still say we need a third lineman, somebody that we remember we had that Senio Calamente type of player who could play multiple positions. Of course, they had Michael Ola, who was doing well for him late in the year that was playing in that capacity. Of course, there's Cameron Thomas, Will Clapp that play multiple positions. But I still say we need an upgrade in that sixth offensive lineman, that reserve lineman, because Teron Armstead is going to get hurt some kind of way. And instead of moving Andrews Pete over to right tackle and then moving Ramczyk to left tackle, let's just get somebody that can play the tackle or guard position that's definitely going to fill in, because it's coming, man. It's coming like sunrise, sunset. The dude is going to get hurt. That's just what Teron Armstead does. It's just what it is. So that's my call in terms of that. Now, Sway, based upon that, man, who do you think that, of course, out of the needs that you said, who do you think that is remaining or in the draft that could fill those needs that you mentioned?
Well, unfortunately, sir, as I looked at the free agency, I didn't see anyone that can come in right now and compliment what's really going on. I think maybe that's why they acquired Jay Williams, because he's familiar with the system, and hell, there's nobody else out there. The only thing in the draft that I can see happening is if the Saints move up, probably get that, because they have predictions of Greedy Williams, excuse me, going at 20 with Pittsburgh and probably snatching him in the draft. And I think, he can make an impact on his first year because he's one of those just add water players. And as you know, and everybody knows, the Super Bowl a bust. So Saints, like you said before, are not looking for anybody to groom. They need somebody to come in there and kick ass immediately. And as far as free agency goes, I really don't see anybody that can do that.
Yeah, you're right, Swede, and in part a lot of it is the what's left on the free agency list is pretty thin. I mean, I think probably the best player left in terms of my biggest need is edge rusher. And of course, family, y'all out there, y'all can feel free to comment on me and Swade's needs, and let that be the special.
May I mention this? Because you did mention edge rusher. Is Sue still available?
Yes, he's still available.
Okay. So maybe that's somebody we can look at if we have enough space.
That's true. It's been articles written about him possibly, coming back. But, of course, he's going to take his time and sign whatever team he wants. The Rams are interested in bringing Ndamukong Suh back. They have a few other suitors as well. But he's going to take his time in some of the reports I remember reading to make his choice on where he wants to go. I still, in terms of the edge rusher position, I still say Ziggy Ansah is a guy that's out there, former Detroit Lion pass rusher, extraordinaire, still dealing with that injury. Of course, the Saints wanted to wait till late April to make a call on Ziggy Ansah. They brought him in, had a look-see at him. They obviously didn't see something, whether it was the injury or the money he was talking about, but usually probably later on after the draft, some of these prices start going down on these players and what they're asking for as the team start filling remaining needs that they didn't pick up in free agency. So I think Ziggy Ansah would definitely be a good move. If you're in the mindset of a team that's went through a dramatic, now me and Sway was talking about this off air about there is probably one team in the history of the NFL that's been through more pain and brokenness than the New Orleans Saints. And we were thinking about, man, this is terrible. The last several years of playoff games have been pretty bad for the Saints in terms of how they've ended. You had the Minnesota Miracle and the debacle. I call it the debacle in the dome when the guy didn't make the call. And now we have a situation this year where That's right. So, I mean, as far as, what's happening now this year, the Saints are potentially looking for a Super Bowl or bust year with Drew Brees in his final year of his deal. And the Saints are looking to try to make some things happen right now. Ziggy Ansah could possibly be a guy that can come in and really help. I mean, he would be an immediate upgrade. He is definitely at this stage of his career better than Marcus Davenport, and would definitely put Davenport in a support role, which would be stupendous with Ziggy Ansah starting, because they basically comparing Davenport's game to Ziggy Ansah. So wouldn't it be cool to have Ziggy Ansah and Davenport on the other side, on this defensive line on this Super Bowl or bust year? Now, to mention it.
Now, hold on. Now, you said there was one other team that went through more heartache than the Saints.
Right.
Well, what team was that, sir?
The Buffalo Bills, in my opinion. The Buffalo Bills. Now, if you go back in the 90s, fam, the Buffalo Bills went to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row. I mean, 4 times in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a row. And they lost every time. They lost twice to Dallas. They lost one time to Washington and 1 time to the Giants. So the Buffalo Bills have got to have the worst playoff memory history. You got there. They was there 4 times in a row and lost 4 times in a row in the Super. That is crazy. But
right.
There's
mention that team as being like one of the greatest teams ever assembled because of those 4 straight losses. That's crazy.
That's crazy indeed, man. So the Saints, man, like we said, man, they're dealing with a lot, man. But Sway gave his choice on that. The Sports Coma question of the day we asking you, fam, is, of course, give us your 3 biggest remaining needs as far as the Saints are concerned. And not only that, but also tell us who do you think fills those needs, whether they're guys in free agencies, that's free agent guys that's left over, or whether it's a guy in a draft that you see. Of course, one of the previous questions was about the fam asking the fam about whether or not the Saints will move up in the draft. We got a lot of interesting comments from people saying, yep. Now, of course, my opinion is I don't think Sean Payton, is valuing these draft picks. He said, well, Q, why would you say that? Because obviously, remember, because last year, remember, the Saints had all those draft picks and they got rid of all those guys, and all those guys were solid draft picks. They were solid players. They're still on the rosters of some of the teams. As soon as the Saints released these guys that were claimed by other teams that took them onto their roster. So the Saints made had good players they drafted. But of course, like one of the draft picks told me in the airport, that if you can't help Sean Payton win this year, then you won't be able to, you won't make the team. And of course, he was an offensive lineman from the Florida State Seminoles. You all knew what I'm talking about. And the man said, if you can't help Sean win this year, then, hey, man, you're on the street. But anyway, that's going to do it for the show today. We'd like to thank y'all for joining us. Sports Coma, episode 347. That's right, sweet. No, he keep on. We're gonna let Tyler make it, man. He ain't got whatever he tell him, it ain't gonna help. But anyway, thank y'all for joining the show today. If you like the show, please share it. Thank you guys for subscribing as good as you do and supporting and putting it on out there. Support our sponsors. Go to the links in the description section below. Join all our social media to get all the latest updates. And of course, we partnered up with a new sports site called thewhothatdaily.com. Check them out. From me and Swade, thank y'all for joining us today. Y'all check back with us later. Peace.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is the Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Embrace Pet Insurance is more than just pet insurance. Embrace Pet Insurance promises to provide genuine support and certainty when your pet needed the most. With personalized accident and illness policies, compassionate customer care, 24/7 access to veterinary professionals, flexible wellness plans, timely claims processing, and online customer portals, their values is what makes them Embrace. So, when selecting a pet insurance company as a partner in your pet's care, you deserve a company that has your pet's best interests at heart. Get top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Up to 90% back on bills at any vet, total protection, pet insurance and wellness, and dependable claims payments. Get the top-rated and reviewed coverage for your pet today. Go to EmbracePetInsurance.com. That's EmbracePetInsurance.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Hit the link below and rep the black and gold today. Who that? Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000, celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast in customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registers and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.
Follow the Sports Home on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.